Before the video starts, I just wanted to thank everybody. Because of you guys, we got 50 whole views. We were able to increase our budget. And also, Dimply gave us his $12 that he's using to save up for a Tesla out of his own free will. Can you believe that?
In the early war years, United States Navy technicians learned that fish sounds register on hydrophones. Eddie turns on the recorder, ready now to transfer to tape. Voices of the sea.
Okay, today we talk about Pole's comeback. The devs were super excited to get started on the game again. They started off on a strong note. They made a prototype level so they could test the movement. They planned on making it much snappier. Now that they were working towards snappier controls, they decided to make the game a more difficult platformer that makes the player think. The artists decided to make all these assets to make this proof of concept level to show off the art that proved absolutely nothing. It was supposed to be this level where you ran around this beach ice cream themed area, but it looked as ugly as a monkey. This discouraged him greatly. So he just gave up on it and decided to get to work on the level design. Around this time, the programmer finished making the movement more responsive and snappy. This allowed the artist to really get to work on the level design. Using simple boxes, they started blocking out the level. Now, they were developing 6 levels, but today we're only going to talk about 2. It's going to help us get an overall idea of how these levels were developing. The 2 we're going to be focusing on are the desert and the forest. We already talked about the forest gimmick in the last episode with the hammers and the leaves. Now, the desert's gimmick was paint. I personally believe that the desert's gimmick was the most interesting out of all of them. They designed the levels around these mechanics, and it led to some of the most successful levels they made. The focus of the design became less about jumping over obstacles, and more about getting over them. I also thought this was a good idea, and it led to some pretty fun levels.
Oh, I'm so sorry about that. Just give me a second, I'll clean it up.
Dude, what was that? That is awful for the environment.
Well, Dimply's not doing much better either, is he? Look at that. He's using a plastic straw as we speak.
Hey, wait, go I am. Yeah, wait, Dimply has a garden.
Fine. I'll work on it. I'll take it seriously from now on, I guess. I'll search some blogs or something.
Good for you. Okay, so at this point in development...
Hey kids! PSA Man here to tell you to reduce, reuse, and recycle.
Okay, at this point in development, the level design was finished. Not completely, but they thought it was. The coder was polishing the code. While the coder was doing that, the artist started working on some level art. He got rid of the background tree images and started adding some actual tree models. Put simply, he added a bunch of cylinders. You can also see that he tried to salvage the stupid dandelion and frog. They didn't last very long. He didn't really like the lighting or colors of the level, so he decided to try and add more atmosphere. He gave it a moodier, foggy look. This style failed too. At the same time, he was working on the desert levels art. This went so much smoother. At first, he decided to make it look like you were in a desert ruins or something. This look had a lot of potential, but it was a little bit too messy. So they scrapped it. He chose to make the level outside where you can see this big pyramid in the distance. So he modeled a triangle. On that note, we'll be back right after the short PSA.
Hello, children! PSA Man is back to tell you to conserve water.
Hey, where's Dimply?
Oh, he went to his garden. Oh, by the way, I started doing some things for the environment. I stopped using plastic as much. I taught myself how to recycle. I stopped dumping my trash in the ocean. Oh yeah, I also started using reusable toilet paper.
Uh-huh. Well, either way, we gotta hurry up and finish eating lunch so we can get started on the documentary.
Oh, I don't do that anymore.
Eat lunches?
Nope.
Like, not even a salad or anything.
Glasses. Vegetables have feelings too, you know. They're alive, just like us.
And we're back. At this point, the levels were kinda good, but they felt super empty. They thought about it. They looked at their levels and they realized what they were missing. Robo-enemies! Having something in the levels that you could move and interact with made the levels feel so much more alive. So they came up with 2 robots, a hammer robot and a baseball robot. The artist started making the hammer one. Then he started giving it textures. I like the arrow on the side and his little lockjaw unibrow look. He gave a hat to the baseball robot and he gave him these little pow boom stickers. He decided to animate them with constant interpolation on 2s. This helped give him that cartoon look. He heavily exaggerated the squash and stretch and made them telegraph their moves. This helped with the snappy, responsive feeling of the game. After he finished animating him, he gave him to the coder and the coder threw him in the levels. Let's take a quick detour to actually talk about the levels. The artist went into Blender and started modeling the levels. He also made a bunch of little details like these little paint bucket guys that drop paint on you. The artist also made this cool effect on the sides of the screens that made it look like you were in a comic book or something. He also worked on fixing the colors of the levels. When you add that all together, you get this. It's a weird style for sure, but it's a good weird. This is the point that devs decided to keep working on this game. Realization they made something a little bit messy, a little bit weird, but unique. And with that, this episode's over. Thanks for watching, and come back next month when... Hey, where is everybody?
Hello, infants. PSA man here to tell you to plant a tree. Plant a tree.
I don't know what I've been doing wrong. I stopped drinking water, I've started eating plastic, and I've been breathing directly on trees all day. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Whoa, where am I?
You're in space!
Who are you?
I'm your imagination! Hello!
Whoa, what are you doing here?
I'm here to tell you that the world is for your consumption!
But what about the environment? The blog posts?
Scotty, look at your hand! Don't you see that?
Limited edition photo of the world famous hippo expert Justein Beberry banana.
That
Limited edition photo of the world famous hippo expert Justein Beberry banana.
means the world is yours!
Oh.
Now wake up! Go! And take the world!
Ugh.
Good day, toddlers. PSA man here to...
Banana.
Low April showers may come your
Explosions, it's all gone.
Well, look, Scotty, you see what you did?
They ain't going anywhere. Yeah.